you want.
Okay.
What you
Okay,
want.
I'd like to call to order the January 21st, 2021 Miamisburg City School District School Board meeting. Rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amsler,
Here.
Mrs. Angel,
Here.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mrs. Neese,
Here.
Mr. Toadvine,
Here.
Dr. Blessing. Present. I'm present. Mr. Homan.
Here.
Okay. So, first we have our adoption of our agenda. Do I have a motion?
I move. Go ahead.
I
Mr.
move that we
Toadvine.
adopt the agenda dated January 21st, 2021.
I will second.
Okay, first by Toadvine, second by Amsler. Any? There's no need for discussion on that, right? Okay. All right.
You ready for
Next
roll
up,
call?
oh yeah, roll call, yeah.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Here.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese.
Yes. Okay, next we have D, approval of minutes for the do I have a motion? Approval, I'm sorry, recommended action, I'm sorry. Approval of the minutes for the regular board meeting held on December 17th, 2020. The special board meetings held on January 5th, 2021 and January 6th, 2021. And the organizational board meeting held on January 12th, 2021. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the minutes for those 4 regular and special board meetings.
I'll second.
Okay, first by Angel and second by Lewis. Next, E, approval of the financial.
No, roll call.
Roll call, sorry, okay.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Okay. E, approval of financial report dated December 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I will move for the approval of the financial report dated December 31st, 2020.
Second.
Okay, first by Amsler, second by Toadvine. And roll call?
Well-
Oh, wait, discussion, yeah. Okay, any questions, Tina?
We do have
Questions for
some
Tina?
relatively large variances going into January. I'm hopeful, this has been a very odd year for all of us, but I'm hopeful that those variances will work themselves out. And, you know, if we do need to do a budget adjustment, it's an adjustment down, which is good. That means we're saving money. So I'm not, you know, right now we have like other financing uses, you have almost a 30% variance. There's a 27.85 variance, but that's because we did an early transfer to nutrition services instead of waiting till the end of the year because their balances were a little out of whack. So most of them are easily explained, so I think we're doing pretty good. We're staying the course, so as pleased as the treasurer can be anyway at this point. So unless you have any questions.
This doesn't reflect the money from the auditor that he's giving back to the district?
No, we have yet to receive that $228,000, a little over 228 in refunds for the appraisal that we paid for in 2020. They did a really great job, and so they were able to do some dividends or refunds back to the districts and the municipalities, but we have not received that yet. So once we get that, we'll make the
So
adjustment.
that'll be the next month?
Yeah,
probably.
hopefully January, but if not, February at the latest. So Carl Keith and his team did a really good job, and we're very thankful for that. So it's the first time ever that we've gotten money back on those kind of fees, so.
All right, that's great. All right, roll call.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, now in F, we have recognition of citizens, staff, and students. And first, we want to recognize Colin Marker from Miamisburg Middle School. There's a video here.
He's our December student.
Okay, December. Oh, that's actually, yeah, the November student of the month.
Yes, November, correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then,
He didn't come on the last time in November, that's how it was too. Let's see, Sarah.
I'll read. Yeah.
Were you silent, Chris, or?
I can't. I can't. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So there we go.
CEO of Miamisburg Bank. We created this program a few years ago to recognize students that are just doing great things, and you are nominated by your teachers. And we were the district winner. So you won your building and then went on to win the district. So we became the district winner. I wanted to congratulate you and give you a plaque and remember that you were the student of the month in November. And also a silver dollar. I don't know if you've seen a silver dollar before, but it's a dollar coin that's made out of pure silver, so it's worth a lot more. And just want to say congratulations and keep up the great work. The picture should be in the paper as well. I've not seen that yet. So congratulations, keep up the great work.
Now our December student.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to read first. No. Okay. Yeah, our district December.
Saying your school month in December. And then a silver dollar. You know what a silver dollar is? It's a dollar coin made out of pure silver. But it's worth more like $50. So it's in a nice little case. It's something you can keep and hold on to. Remember this great day, the great work you did. All right. So congratulations. We're going to get a picture.
Now back to me. Okay, to recap, going back, the Miamisburg City School District November Student of the Month was Miamisburg Middle School student Colin Marker. He was nominated by his counselor Monique Hobbs and the Team 4 teachers. Other November Building Student of the Month representatives were recognized last month as well. The Miamisburg City School District December Student of the Month is Mark Twain Elementary School 4th grade student Charlie Langford. She was nominated by her teacher Joy Dorson. Ms. Dorson said, Charlie is a student who demonstrates Mark Twain Elementary's 4 character words in everything that she does. Despite the challenges that this unprecedented school year has presented, Charlie has made a significant amount of improvement in her reading and writing skills. Although 2020 has thrown us many curveballs, Charlie has consistently encouraged her peers to act in positive ways by modeling appropriate classroom behavior and turning in quality assignments. Charlie is a classroom cheerleader, always ready with a kind word or encouragement sentiment. Her hard work and kindness deserve to be recognized. Charlie is extremely motivated, who puts forth her best effort and does what it takes to complete even the most challenging assignments. She is accepting in all of her peers on a daily basis, is a great friend and a peacemaker. She is a positive light here at Mark Twain Elementary and a breath of fresh air during a challenging school year. We are fortunate to have Charlie as part of our family here at Mark Twain Elementary School. Other building students of the month were representatives from Bauer Elementary School by Owen Engel, Bear Elementary School, Aubrey Douglas, Jane Chance Elementary School, Scarlett Senny, Kinder Elementary School, Haven Ruff, Mellerview Elementary School, Eva Douglas, Mound Elementary School, Zane Aldred, Miamisburg Middle School, we have Nor Kasani, and Miamisburg High School, Alyssa Grinder. So congratulations to all the students of the month.
And I will say especially congratulations to Zane Aldred. He's my great-grandson. We're very proud of him.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations to them all.
yeah. I saw
Parents and
him-
grandparents alike, we're all proud.
That's right.
And I saw him the day that he got to dress like the principal. That was pretty cool.
He made
Yeah.
his mom go buy him that suit the day before.
And, thanks to farmers and merchants for the plaques and the silver dollars. That's certainly a nice recognition for the students who are leaders in our school, in our schools. Next, we have the School Board Recognition Month, January 2021. All students of the Miamisburg City School District benefit every day from the dedication and commitment to a quality education by our school board members. The hours and energy devoted to making this district a great place to learn do not go unnoticed. In sincere appreciation for exemplary leadership and service to public schools, these certificates are presented to Christopher Amsler, Sharon Angel, Tim Lewis, Ann Neese, and Dale Tovine. And at this time, too, we want to present the gavel to Dale and thank him for being president the last 2 years. It takes a lot of time, and I know that we're all hoping that he can enjoy his family a little more and some of his hobbies. Congratulations.
You like doing that, didn't you?
Recess.
And then we have recognition of National School Counseling Week. It
Thank
is
you.
recommended that the board recognize National School Counseling Week. School counselors, all in for all students, will be celebrated from February 1st through 5th, 2021, to focus public attention on the unique contribution of professional school counselors within U.S. school systems. The Board of Education further recognizes that comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the Miamisburg City Schools educational process. Next, we have the resolution of appreciation for retirees. It is recommended that the
And-
board.
Could I interrupt you just for a second?
Sure.
Okay, whenever somebody's recognized, you always ask them if they want to speak, and I do,
Okay. I'm
okay?
sorry.
Before you move on
Okay,
too far.
sure.
Okay, even if it's somebody, if it's a bus driver or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, I just want to take time just real quick to say thank you to all of you that are on the board, administration, teachers, parents, students, everybody. The last 2 years has been kind of crazy, to say the least. I've been on the school board, this is my 14th year, and this is by far the craziest 2 years that we've had when you put them together with contracts and COVID and all that. So, but you guys have all been great, so thank you.
Thanks, Dale. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay.
This is your first real night, so hey,
Yeah.
you're gonna.
So it is recommended that the Board of Education adopt resolutions of appreciation for the following employees. Belinda Evans and James Knoxon. Do I have a motion?
I move for the resolution of appreciation for our retirees.
Second.
A first by Lewis, a second by Amsler.
should be able to pull up the resolution.
Okay, yeah, sorry. There it is, okay. Whereas Valinda Evans has rendered 20 years service to the students of Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas Valinda Evans' performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out her duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas Valinda Evans has distinguished herself as a lunchroom aide, MH aide, maintenance custodian, and facility monitor, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Miamisburg City Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for her outstanding conduct, and that such resolution become part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education. I'm not sure, I don't actually know her. Do you all know Belinda? But thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for your commitment to our schools. Do you?
I worked with Belinda at the high school. She was a hall monitor when I was dean of students, so we worked pretty closely for a couple years. She did a very nice job. Fun to work with.
And then next we have James Noxon, a resolution of appreciation, whereas James Noxon has rendered 30 years service to the Miamisburg City Schools, and whereas James Noxon's performance, conduct, and sincerity in carrying out his duty has exemplified the highest level of achievement, and whereas James Noxon has distinguished himself as a maintenance custodian, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Miamisburg City Board of Education pass this resolution as a token of its appreciation for his outstanding conduct, and that such resolution become part of the permanent minutes of said Board of Education. And I know I'll miss seeing Jim over at Mountain School. He,
I remember
really
him when
nice
he
guy.
was- I remember him when he was at Bauer years and years ago. and
Okay.
I know he's going to be sorely missed at Mound because they do love him a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a lot of, but thanks, Jim, because a lot of the extra things that you did and for kids and just being a nice guy there. That means a lot, so thanks.
So, roll call?
Mr. Amsler,
Absolutely, yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes,
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a board discussion, a curriculum update by Dr. Laura Blessing, Amy Dobston, and Stacy Moore.
Good evening. Each month, we're going to be giving you some updates regarding curriculum, assessment, any achievement scores or assessment scores we received. And this evening, we're going to focus on some information from Stacy. So I don't know if we just pull her up or she's ready to go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I just want to talk about something that's later on the agenda, which is the approval of the high school program of studies. We always approve it in January because, believe it or not, we are starting to plan for the 2021-2022 school year. Just to point out some changes in the program of studies, last year we changed the format a little bit. It used to be called the Viking Voyage and really just outlined all the courses and the descriptions. So last year, under the leadership of Michael Black, they decided to change the program and make it, or the format, and change it more of a program of studies. They reorganized it and it is easier for parents and students to use. They added a section on career and college planning where it outlined some pathways and different career fields and what different types of jobs are under those career fields. And we also added a section for the MVCTC programs in our Viking Voyage. We used to have a small section, but we actually added in there all the different programs that are offered at the CTC. Some other changes we talked about in the new program of studies is honoring our graduates. We had a committee discuss the change from valedictorian and salutatorian to using the Latin honors system that colleges use. And so that is going to begin with next year's class, the class of 2022. There are just some minor course name changes. We changed digital art and intermediate photography to digital art 1 and digital art 2. Our art department at the high school is doing an amazing job, and they are taking our art department to the next level. So changing those programs up opens up some opportunities that they can blend in some more digital art and sketching, as well as graphic design and photography. We combined biology general and biology CP into one level, so now biology will align with English and just have a biology CP and a biology honors. And one of the biggest things that I'm excited about is we started working with them, or I was part of the Montgomery County Business Advisory Council starting a few years ago with Dr. Vale. And then I started the Miamisburg Business Advisory Council a couple years ago. And we worked with Miamisburg industries, organizations, some staff from Miamisburg, and started talking about how we can expand our career education here at Miamisburg. So we worked at the high school and started revamping some of our career classes and pathways last year to implement for this year. So our freshmen now all take a Viking prep class. And that Viking prep class used to be Intro to Family and Consumer Science, and it still integrates some of those topics, such as finance and banking, not baking, but banking, manners, self-representation, mental health and first aid, grit, resilience, teamwork, and leadership. But it also blended in some high school academics and talked about graduation requirements and what your high school life is going to look like and how that leads to what you're going to do after high school. Then we're able to revamp the careers class that the sophomores take, and they actually started taking what is called the U Science assessment. More of an interest survey. It's actually more of an aptitude test, and it takes students' aptitudes and tells them what they're best suited for. Assessment, but I never finished it. I'm scared it's going to tell me I am completely in the wrong field. So I like what I'm doing. I don't want it to tell me I made a wrong choice. That class also covers employability skills, soft skills, exploring options after high school, getting and keeping a job, and they then start exploring the in-demand jobs in Ohio. Along with that, then this year we had a career and college readiness class that Amy Elsas teaches. In that class is an ACT prep unit. Since all our juniors take ACT, they learn about the FAFSA as well as career and college planning. And one of the coolest things, and I'm going to ask her to come present this later in the year, is the kids are creating an electronic portfolio with resumes and letters of recommendation and college essays and things in there that they can then build on their senior year and after high school. So the last piece of that career experience is our senior level class that we're going to add next year. It's a follow-up to the junior class. So the students will then build onto their portfolio, but also we're going to provide hands-on job experiences with them. We're going to have guest speakers. We're going to have students be able to go out and do site visits at different industries and organizations and companies, hopefully get them some job shadows. And working with Sinclair and Bob Neubauer and Mr. Black, we have some pre-apprenticeship programs we're looking at for our students. We have students in a few right now, and COVID kind of put a halt on that since many employers don't even have their own employees coming into work. They didn't want students, but hopefully we can expand on that next year. So that is what's really exciting for me. And then the last piece about the program of studies, I know Sushak and Tina and Michael over, the course fees that are in there and making sure that what is listed in a course fee and what we're charging for a course fee is what we're using. So they adjusted some and we're able to decrease a few of them throughout the program of studies. Going along with the program of studies and scheduling is our College Credit Plus program. We have a College Credit Plus parent night every year, and we weren't able to do that obviously in the same format with everybody in the high school commons. So I did it a little differently this year. I went ahead and did the presentation and made a video of it. We shared it as along with all the other resources that the students and parents would get on information night, and put it out in lots of formats. They went out in announcements, out on our district website, the school counselor newsletter, Instagram. So it was all out there. And then instead of having this huge virtual night, what I did was have a question and answer session last Thursday. And I had between 30 and 40 parents join that session to ask questions. So we were able to do that one a little bit different. We are continuing our partnership with Sinclair. We will have 9 courses at the high school that are taught by Miamisburg High School teachers. We did adjust the general bio. Jared Levin taught that this year, and he expanded the semester class into a year-long class, but he believes he can do it in a semester next year and add the general biology 2 for the students to take also. And the College Credit Plus rules haven't changed. Students can attend any public Ohio college or university for on-campus classes or online courses. So even though we offer those 9 in person at the high school, students can still go to the college and take classes online or in person. The majority of our kids do Sinclair, Wright State, or Miami. The last data we got in 1920 was at Sinclair, we had 245 students participate in College Credit Plus and earn 2,150 semester hours, and we had a success rate of 97% for those kids. So College Credit Plus program. And I think that is it. If you guys have any questions.
Hey, Stacy, this is Chris. Hey, how difficult has it been to get kids to ACT because of COVID that are juniors?
We take our ACT for the state administration on March 9th.
Okay.
So we actually have a meeting next week at the high school to work on. Obviously, we're going to follow the same person, and we will probably have a sign up for the kids that are participating online to have them come in. Amy had some really good success for the 3rd grade ELA state test for the remote kids to come in. You know, we followed protocols and spaced them out. And we had some success with the fall high school end of course exam window. So I'm hoping we will have pretty good success. You know, it's a ACT. So we're hoping we will have a good success to bring them in that day also. We're looking at different options, so not all the kids will be in the building. We're looking at something virtual for freshmen and sophomore of a more career day, but virtually on that day, so we can spread the juniors out more across the building.
And this is their first attempt at the ACT as juniors?
Many of them, it is their first attempt. For some, it may be their second if they've gone ahead year already.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Stacy, this is Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Howdy. I have a question about some of the class fees. Do you want me to ask now or wait?
If you got a specific one, I'd probably have to go back and look, but if
No.
it's
It's not
general, I can probably answer right now.
Okay. The big thing was how we come up with the fee for the class.
Every class has a small fee for materials, usually about a $2 fee for consumable materials that are used in the classroom, like Post-it notes and index cards and construction paper. And then the additional fees are usually by the materials. So some classes have workbooks, like Spanish and French have workbooks that they purchase. American government has workbooks they purchase and the kids keep. The AP fees, obviously the AP test is put into there. Construction, there's fees for their lumber and their materials. Family and consumer science for ingredients if they're going to cook. So it's based on materials and resources that they're going to use in that class.
Okay, yep, that answers it. I had noticed that we had more decrease than increase, so I was just kind of wondering.
Yep, we noticed, just some fees were not, were a little more than what we were actually using in the material, so we were able to decrease those a little bit.
So the AP tests is what cranks that rate up so high?
Yes.
Okay. How do we handle the fees like for AP classes? Because I take it that I would think that students might take more than one AP class at a time. If we have like free and reduced lunch students, how do we handle that with that cost for like AP?
Those are the same as any other free and reduced lunch student. They are transferred over from general fund, but the AP College Board actually reimburses us for part of that fee for anybody on free and reduced lunch.
Okay. Thank you. Very helpful.
You're welcome.
And Stacy, this is Sharon. I just want to say I really appreciate all the work you put in at the high school for the whole process we're going through, but especially to change the valedictorian. I think we've all been looking forward to that, so I'm glad to see that's going forward.
Hi, Sharon. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, next month, we'll be presenting graduation requirements and what they are and what we are doing. So that'll kind of a preview of what we're doing next month and our report. And if there's anything we need to add to that, just let us know. I'll share out our calendar that we've kind of put together for the remainder of the year in terms of what we think would be pertinent each month that comes our way that we can share with you. So once you see that, if there's anything you want us to add or change, just let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Amy's not going to speak tonight, right? Okay. We just wanted to welcome you, Tom, to our meeting. Tom Young, he's our newly elected state representative for the House. So, thanks for coming.
So we expect you to listen to our concerns, Tom,
Yeah.
mostly about money.
Yeah.
That was an amazing presentation. She's spot on. Spot on.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda is the approval of the adoption, revision of the board policies. I know those were the ones that we had our first readings of last month. So, do I have a motion?
I'll move for the approval of adoption, revision of board policies.
I'll second.
Okay, first by Lewis, second by Angel. Any discussion? Tina?
I think I answered everybody's questions as far as the bonded employees and officers and all of that. The other thing is the deposit of public funds, the cash collection points. I haven't had a chance to sort of reach out to Jason Osborne and Jason Shade to sort of step through their entire process. We have some really good internal controls going on right now. I just need to put them in some kind of written format for you, for the actual written. I do narratives for the auditors. I have that. That's our jumping off point. But I just want to make sure that we have something clear and concise that's available for everybody. So we'll get that out to you as soon as we can.
Good, thanks.
Thanks. All right, roll call?
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Okay, next we move on to the consent agenda. And A is approval of the Miamisburg High School Program of Studies and fee structure. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the Viking Voyage, Miamisburg High School's Program of Studies and fee structure for the 2021-22 school year. then next, do we discuss in
Yeah.
between or at the end?
Go through all.
Just go through all of them first, okay? And then B, waive class fees at Miamisburg High School. It is recommended that the Board of Education waive $22 of the $25 culinary arts class fee and $6 of the $11 Viking prep class fees for the 2020-21 school year only. Then C, the approval of the 22-plus program class of 2021, Miamisburg High School. Michael Black, principal of Miamisburg High School, has recommended graduation for Terry R. Dickerson II, who has completed the requirements for his high school diploma through the 22-plus adult high school program. And D, approval of the memorandum of understanding between the Miamisburg City School District and Teamsters Union number 957. The superintendent and treasurer / CFO recommend that the Board of Education approve the attached memorandum of understanding with the Teamsters Union number 957. So do I have a motion?
I move we approve consent agenda items A through D.
A second.
All right, that's first by Angel and second by Lewis. Questions?
Now we go back to this.
I know I had a question about the 22-plus program class. Is that something outside of our school and then we give the diploma, or is that part of our district, the 22-plus? We don't run that at all, do we? The adult high school program?
I believe he's placed somewhere else.
Okay.
And we, yes, he is, and he's a Miamisburg resident student.
Okay.
So he's finishing out his placement, and since he'll be turning 23, he's officially graduating. So we're signing his diploma because his home school is Miamisburg High
Okay.
School.
Nice.
Well, congratulations, Terry.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
On item B, we are not cooking this year, as you know, in these classes, baking. So we just thought it was in our best interest to reduce those fees because we're not going to be able to do those because of COVID. So that's why we're asking to waive those fees for this year only. Hopefully, we'll get back to regular operations next year. But for this year, anybody that has already paid those fees, working with Sue Shock at the high school to get those refunded to those parents. We're just unable to provide that part of it right now, so.
Mr. Hillman and I both agree that we miss having smells in the high schools when they're cooking, because I would be willing to sample anything that they have.
Well, times have changed because one of my favorite classes when I was in high school was buttons and burgers. First 9 weeks you sewed, second 9 weeks you cooked. You would not have wanted to taste what we had. I had a person that was one of my partners whose parents butchered, and he brought stuff in that I had never seen before. So, it stunk up the school pretty good.
Anything else? Roll call?
Mrs. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine?
Yes.
Mr. Amsler?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mrs. Neese?
Yes. Okay, next on the Human Resources agenda, the approval of personnel reports, certificated, classified. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following personnel reports. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, but you
Go ahead and read that in.
Yeah, you gotta read the employment
print.
in the
Oh,
Miamisburg.
employment in the Miamisburg City School District is contingent upon the candidate submitting to and passing a BCII and FBI criminal record check in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and pre-employment drug screening in accordance with adopted board policies. Thanks, Chris. Now,
Now,
do I have a motion?
now I will move for the approval of the personnel report certificated and classified.
Second.
Okay, first by Amsler, second by Tovine.
This one's Mr. Homan's.
Steve?
Business as usual.
Okay.
Roll call?
Mr. Amsler,
Yeah,
Mr. Lewis,
Abstain.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel.
Yes.
Okay, next we have approval of personnel report, certificated, classified, supplemental stipend. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following personnel report, certificated, classified, supplemental stipend. Employment in the Miamisburg City School District is contingent upon the candidate submitting to and passing a BCII and FBI criminal record check in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code and pre-employment drug screening in accordance with adopted board policies. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve personnel reports supplemental.
Second.
I'll second.
Is that you, Tim?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First by Angel, second by Lewis. See, anything from any of you? Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler.
abstain.
Okay, 5 agreements and contracts. The approval of the agreement with the Warren County Educational Service Center. The superintendent and treasurer, CFO, recommend approval of the attached addendum to the agreement with the Warren County Educational Service Center for services to be provided during the 2020-21 school year. Do I have a motion?
Who do I ask to explain?
We gotta get a
We can
motion.
do that as
Motion.
soon as
Oh,
there's a motion.
I'm sorry. I thought we were discussing before. I'm sorry.
You can make the motion, and then I can second it, and
Yeah.
then it'll be on the table for discussion.
I will move for the approval of agreement with the Warren County Educational Service Center.
And I will second.
Okay. First by Lewis, second by Amsler, and now Tim.
Just got excited. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So,
Katie, you want to explain this?
The addendum to this is a placement for, a specialized placement for a student.
okay. That's what I thought it was, but thank you. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, roll
I'll
call.
be quiet. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Roll call?
Mr. Amsler,
Yes,
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine.
Aye.
You're being difficult.
Okay. All right, next is the approval of the agreement with the Montgomery County Educational Service Center. It is the recommendation of the superintendent and treasurer, CFO, that the board approve an agreement with the Montgomery County Educational Service Center to provide a social emotional learning consultant during the 2020-21 school year. Do I have a motion?
I move for the approval agreement with the Montgomery County Educational Service Center.
Second.
Okay. So first by Amsler, second by Angel. Yeah, I did have a question about it. If you guys want to go first, I don't have the contract in front of me now, but it said 186 days. When did this position start? Like,
Started in August.
okay,
Yeah.
The Service Center just forwarded it to us a few
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
All
she's
right.
been here since August and been working with the district. It's part of the student wellness
Monies.
monies and initiative that we're partnering with Montgomery County ESC to do. It fell through the cracks, but they have been here since August,
Okay.
so
All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Anybody else?
Ma'am.
Nope.
Roll call?
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler.
Yes.
All right, next we have the approval of agreement with Waste Management of Ohio Incorporated. The superintendent and treasurer, CFO, recommend approval of the attached agreement with Waste Management of Ohio Incorporated. Do I have a motion?
I move for the approval of the agreement with Waste Management of Ohio.
You beat me to it. Second.
Okay, first by Toadvine, second by Angel. I know I just wanted to say that I think it's great that we saved $13,000.
Yep.
Right,
Comments or
every contract
questions?
that's been coming up, Scott's been doing a great job of getting proposals together to look at pricing. And we've had a contract in place with Waste Management Agreement, and this one is a 3-year agreement, and it is the best one that we saw through the proposals, and he estimated a savings of about $13,000 year one. So it's a good deal.
I like it when they pay us to pick up our trash.
We still gotta pay them, it's just a little less.
Good.
Okay, roll call?
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Okay, next is financial agenda items. The treasurer recommends the Board of Education approve the following transfers. These transfers are for school fees waived during September, December 2020. All transfers are made in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 5705.14. Uniform school supplies Bauer. Uniform school supplies Bear. Uniform school supplies Kinder. Uniform school supplies Jane Chance. Uniform school supplies Mark Twain. Uniform school supplies Mound. Uniform school supplies Medler. Uniform school supplies MMS. Uniform school supplies high school. And then class fees high school, class fees high school, class fees high school, class fees high school, for a total amount of $20,407. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the transfers of school fees waived.
A second.
Okay, first by Angel, second by Lewis.
We're a little delayed in the transfers this year for school fees, and that's, because we've, delayed the start of school and had some extensions and such. But we have all of our class fees set up in a special fund, the 009 fund. And so because of that, we are transferring from the general fund, the 001 fund, to the 009 to give those individual buildings access to those class fees monies that those students who qualify for a waiver will get. I will say that this is much less than we typically transfer at this time of the year, and I think that's because the Ohio Department of Education is doing the free breakfast and lunch for everyone, which is great and wonderful. But people aren't filling out their applications, and without their applications, we can't determine whether or not they're eligible for a waiver on their class fees. So just sort of a plea to our community that, in order to get your class fees waived, that's not automatic just because you're getting free lunch or free breakfast. Those applications have to be submitted, and you can contact our nutrition services department to do that. But that's why we're asking for your permission to do this transfer in January. So
So are the building secretaries sending that information out to parents saying, you know, you still need to fill out this application?
I'm not sure if the building secretaries are doing so, but I know the principals have been very helpful in putting it in newsletters. We're doing one calls. So we're going to keep pushing and hopefully there's also different initiatives going on with ODE and other, where if you qualify and you have a free and reduced application, they come through us, the districts, to then give additional, benefits like, EBT cards and, to help buy food outside of what we give in the schools. So it's really important that we get them to fill out their applications because it all sort of comes from that one department, from nutrition services. So we're going to keep pushing and certainly we'll reach out to the secretaries and see, because I know they send out reminders about class fees, so it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and send out reminders about the application. Yes.
Roll call.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese.
Yes.
Thank you.
My next is the authorization for the amendment to the appropriations and certificate of estimated resources. It is recommended by the Treasurer CFO that the appropriations and certificate of estimated resources be amended as listed in the attached reports. Do I have a motion?
I'll move for the authorization for amendment to the appropriations and certificate of estimated resources.
Second?
Okay, first by Lewis, second by Toadvine.
We had a pretty significant increase in our revenues, but that's primarily because we did the bond refunding in December. We were hoping to get it done before the election. If you remember, back in September, we passed the resolution to sell the bonds. That didn't happen because the market wasn't where we wanted it to be, but we did close on it December 22nd. So you'll see a $15 million increase in revenues, because I didn't get $15 million. I wish I could say we did, but we were able to sell the bonds, and then we have to we have to book the entry. So that's where we saved the public about $2 million, a little over $2 million, $2.8 million actually, in refunding those bonds. No savings to the school district, but a savings to the community, because we are going to be able to reduce the millage collected on the debt. I've been working with the Montgomery County Auditor's Office. We're hoping it could be anywhere from 0.4 to half a mil that we reduce in collections for debt. So we're.
Show up in this year's.
Mm-hmm. They're working on new rates now. So they've got to apply House Bill 920 to reduce other millage rates, because our property values did go up. So once we get our new rates, then I'll be able to say, yes, this is exactly what those savings are. But the state is responsible for some of that. And, as you imagine, everything's sort of slowed. The auditor's office will do our fixed sum levies, like our emergency and our debt and things of that nature. But inside millage and others come from the state. So we're waiting for all that information from Montgomery County Auditor. But it is a direct savings to the community. So we'll have to toot our horn about that.
Taxpayers.
Taxpayers, correct. So that's the bulk of what those changes were, and why I need you to approve the adjustment to the budget and the adjustment to our anticipated revenues. Unless you have any other questions.
No, but it's fabulous. That is, I think that's one of the better things that I've seen happen this year for our community, our taxpayers. So
when interest rates are this low, we sort of have to take advantage of whatever we can. So, yeah.
All right, roll call.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine.
Yes.
All right, next, our acceptance of donations. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following list of donations. All monies will be used through each school's 018 account unless indicated otherwise. $4,500.
Well,
Oh,
hold
it
on.
is,
Hold on.
oh,
We need to get a motion.
oh. Okay,
I
I'll
move
read
we
all that
accept the
stuff.
donations.
okay, so we don't read all that first.
We do.
I second.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Sharon did the motion and Dale seconded it.
Okay.
And now we read.
first by Angel and second by
Dale.
Dale Toadvine. Okay. All right. So $4,500 from the MHS Band Boosters to the Miamisburg City School District for the WGI Winds Ensemble stipends. $1,000 from the anonymous to the MHS Wrestling Program in response to the Matching Funds initiative, and that's the $20,000 that the alumni will match for if $20,000 comes in from donators. $2,000 from Viking Heating and Air to the MHS Wrestling Program in response to the Matching Funds initiative. And donations from Destination Imagination to be used in a spring 2021 raffle for a total value of $1,285.98. And I'll say the names of the different businesses. Roosters, Spoonful.
Give the value to, please.
Okay. Roosters, 100 boneless wings, valued at $109.98. Spoonful, a $20 gift card. Ron's Pizza, two $25 gift cards, valued at $50. Curious Styles and Coffee Shop, $10 gift card. Buffalo Wild Wings, a $25 gift card. Grandpa Joe's, two golden tickets for the candy buffet, valued at $10. Dewey's Pizza, $25 gift card. Bonefish Grill, free appetizer or dessert certificate, valued at $50. Panera Bread, $15 gift card. Gyro Palace, Gyro, is it Gyro?
Hero.
Yeah, I don't know that place. Okay, 4
They're
T-shirts and $40 gift cards, valued at $70. Bullwinkle's free appetizer coupons, valued at $300. Chewy's complimentary dinner for two free queso certificates, postcards, and T-shirts, valued at $60. M & Company, a Miamisburg plaque, valued at $30. Bear Creek Donuts, 1 dozen of assorted donuts, valued at $12. Milano's gift certificates, valued at $20. Poking Lanes, family time saver for up to 6 people, valued at $40. Nothing Bundt Cakes, 1 decorated cake, valued at $34. Mike Bucher, I hope I'm saying that right, Viking Cowboy stool, valued at $75. Plaza Theater, 12 free tickets, valued at $60. Red Lobster, 2 $10 off certificates, valued at $20. Roosters, 1 10% off certificate, valued at up to $200. Chick-fil-A, assorted gift cards for free items, valued at $50. And then the following donations were made to the Miamisburg City Schools for the Campus Quest project. And all these are for the Matching Fund initiative from the alumni as well, matching up to $20,000. $100 from Anonymous in response to the Matching Funds Initiative, $250 from Doug and Brenda Hibbard in response to the Matching Funds Initiative, $500 from Joe and Nancy Isakovich in response to the Matching Funds Initiative, $2,000 from Viking Heating and Air in response to the Matching Funds Initiative. I know, I just really appreciate all those donations. They're definitely the icing on the cake for a great, that makes a great school district even better. So thank you so much.
Is there a time limit on the matching funds, or is it just till the 20,000 runs out? Does anybody know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know either, that's why I'm asking. So, but that's a good thing if somebody still wants to donate to Campus Quest, this is a really good time to do it. So,
Yes.
Yes,
I
this
would check-
anonymous donor is doing $20,000 for the wrestling program. So any donations made to the wrestling program, they will match up to $20,000, and then an equal $20,000 for the Campus Quest program. So it's a wonderful way to get donations. Yes, we are very appreciative.
Yes. Okay, roll call?
Mrs. Neese,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mrs. Angel,
Yes,
Mr. Toadvine,
Yes.
Mr. Amsler.
Yes.
Okay, now we'll go on to the reports, the MVCTC news. I think Laura's going to do that for Joy Zakovich,
Yes.
right? Okay.
COVID-19,
Dr. Blessing.
the MVCTC returned to its blended schedule on Tuesday, January 19th. Seniors are attending on Mondays and Tuesdays. Wednesdays are virtual for all, and Thursdays and Fridays are for juniors. This will continue for the second semester. Construction update, the north and south wings have been slightly behind schedule. We have received a temporary certificate of occupancy for the south wing. This allows us to move equipment, supplies, and other instructional type items into the nearly completed spaces. When we receive full approval, we will be able to occupy the spaces. Our current goal is to move into the south wing yet in January or early February. The north wing would be sometime in mid-May. 50 years. 2021 marks the 50th year of the Montgomery County Joint Vocational School District in Miami Valley Career Technology Center. We have tens of thousands of successful alumni throughout the world using the skills they have learned here. Thanks to all those who have been involved in the educational process over the years. More information about activities and events relating to our anniversary will be passed along at a later date. Our future is bright for the next 50 years as we complete construction and continue our tradition of excellence in education. That's all for January. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Joe Isakovich.
Thank you.
I think our Congressman Tom Young, I think he was in high school then when that happened.
Oh, wow. Great. Okay, next, the legislative liaison, Sharon Angel.
Well, Tom may know more than I do, but he's new at it, so go through what I have. Governor DeWine signed into law House Bill 409, which modifies student attendance requirements for e-schools and changes the education law for 2021 school year to provide school districts continued flexibility and relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. It also provides flexibility to school districts regarding educational requirements for substitute teachers. He also signed into law Bill 436, and this bill requires that districts by the 22-23 school year administers annual dyslexia screenings to our students in grades K-5. And this is close to my heart because, as most of you know, my great-granddaughter is dyslexic. and I have a couple of friends whose children are. And our district has been kind of in the forefront in testing and providing resources for those students, but now it is required. So he also signed into law House Bill 442, which modifies pupil services license to require only registration with the Ohio Department of Education if the individual is already licensed by another professional board. House Bill 210, and these are all ones that have been signed into law. It requires preschool programs and other entities to screen and test prospective employees for tuberculosis, and I think we already do that. He also signed into law House Bill 450, which requires fiscal officers of a school district and other local governments to provide certificates of transition to their successors, and modifies the duties of school district treasurers to ensure delivery to the treasurer's successors of all papers related. I think there were some issues in some school districts where there wasn't a good transition, so that will help that. He also signed into law Senate Bill 68, which requires a state model curriculum for high school students on proper interaction with peace officers during traffic stops and other encounters, and requires districts to incorporate this curriculum in at least one course. This one frustrates me because it's one more item that we're being asked to address with no funding that comes with it. So that's my rant, Tom. Thank you for listening.
Right.
Okay. He also, the other news is, you all know that Peggy Lerner was chair of the Education Committee, and she is no longer in the state Senate, so now Senator Andrew Brenner, he's a Republican from Powell, I don't know where that is, but he'll be the Education Committee chair. So when we have issues, that's the person's name we want to keep in mind. It's Senator Andrew O'Brenner. And finally, President-elect Joe Biden announced the American Rescue Plan, and that includes $130 billion for K-12 schools. So hopefully we'll be getting some relief from that. And Tom, would you like to add anything else? I don't think the legislature's back in session yet, are they?
We're not. We have we've only had one session. It was procedural. We have a retreat next Wednesday where we'll find out our assignments as far as committee is concerned. But I will say that it's a priority. You know, the funding bill, the new funding bill did not pass, and I've made it clear that I don't disagree with it. It's just not sustainable, and it has to be student focused, and it's got to be taxpayer friendly, and it just didn't look sustainable to me. So it's a priority of the speaker, and he's worked on that bill for many years.
Many years.
So we hope to see.
Something has to change.
We hope to. Well, no one abides by the ruling right now anyway. So something does have to change, and so it's going to be a primary issue in this session the next 2 years. It was with the previous speaker as well, so it hasn't gone away any.
I guess I just want to say that for however many 20 years, the school funding in Ohio has not been where it's supposed to be, and it doesn't follow our Constitution.
Right.
So something truly has to change.
Yeah, it's been longer than 20 years, but
Right.
yeah.
It would be nice to just have a formula. I mean, right now, we're not even operating with a formula, and
That's
we
right.
just keep getting hit with more reductions. And I understand and empathize with the position of the state losing the revenues that they lost because of COVID, but it's sort of frightening that I can't tell from one year to another what our funding will be, because there's no formula.
Well, I don't have any.
For us math geeks, we just like to work on the formula.
I don't have any empathy with the state government and the money that they have. In all honesty, we have more money than buckets to put it in. It's just the wrong path we've been down, that's all.
Right.
Well, the other thing is, with it not passing, in our district, we are now in will be in financial difficulty. That means we're going to have to go out and ask our taxpayers for more money to support the programs that we put forth in our school. And that's going to be a very difficult thing to do in the situations we're in right now.
I agree.
Congressman Young, while you're
Yes.
here, what are you putting as your main education priority for that you see coming up?
I don't really, when I meet with organizations, I basically say to them, you know, we have BC, is what I call it, before COVID, right? And now it's after COVID. And I don't know what your planning process is at the moment. 5-year plans are kind of out the window. And so I'm just asking organizations I've got to be able to see what the after COVID looks like. And it can't be, if you look out 2 years, because anything beyond that is beyond what we can think right now. But it can't be incrementally either. It has to be something that we can be able to look at. I hope we're able, you know, they projected revenue decreases at the state level. I totally disagreed with that. I see it from a different perspective from the private sector, and I did not see any reduction as far as sales were concerned, taxation, and so on and so forth, and it came to fruition that is the case. We are in pretty good shape. We're in very good shape, actually. And I don't see that changing in 2020, 2021, or 2022 before we may go into a recession. So we'll have to wait and see. But status quo at the minimum is what I have been talking to my colleagues about. I don't think you can even, there are certain sectors that will be funded heavily through the federal government. But then again, you have to understand that that's one-time money. I mean, we've got to get to a sustainable plan that can continue over and over again without these huge swings and threats and so on and so forth of you start your school year out and they come back and say 15% reduction. You're going, what? 15% reduction in the third month? We've already started in school. It's just not feasible anymore. We got to be more sustainable than that. So those are the discussions that we have, and we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we get the budget probably next week or the first week in February, and but I don't want it so totally focused, and I made this perfectly clear, and I'll say the same thing to the governor. I don't want all of our money going to public health. I mean, we need to be a lot more realistic than that. And you're seeing all these big numbers thrown around for public health, and I think that'll be long gone, nothing that we even have to deal with, hopefully, in 6-8 months. So, but it's got to be sustainable, student-focused, and good for the taxpayer. I do think it's a crime that schools are blamed for, for having to raise money to educate children, and then the taxpayer has to carry the burden, which is totally unfair, in my opinion. The funding mechanism is messed up, but it's got to take intestinal fortitude and a bold move to be able to take it on. So we have people that feel the same way I do. So we'll see. That's it.
Well, thank you, Tom.
But I'm not a big fan of underfunded mandates, and I don't like grade cards for schools. I think your superintendent heard me say that, right?
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
yeah. Thanks, Tom and Sharon. Okay, we'll move on to, Chris has done all the student achievement. So we'll move on to D, Montgomery County Drug-Free Coalition. Liaison, Tim Lewis.
Well, I sat in on my first Zoom meeting today with the Drug Free Coalition. Most of the meeting was catch up. It sounded like they hadn't met in December. Is that correct?
It did not.
Okay, so it was just committees reporting different things, but big thing that they talked about for a long time. This isn't necessarily 100% official until the coroner report at the end of the month comes out, but for Montgomery County, 321 overdose deaths in 2020. And a lot of people working together to try to get that turned around. So. They
That's
meet
higher
again
than
in
last
March.
year, for sure.
Pardon me?
That's higher than last year,
Yes.
for sure, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah, eventually, I'm sure the next meeting, they'll probably have a speaker.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
March is the next.
Oh, okay.
They're not meeting in February for whatever reason.
And then we'll move on to the district news and information, and Chris is gonna go ahead and read that.
Okey-doke.
Mr. Amsler.
The latest Making a Difference honoree is bus driver Michael Papalio, nominated by our very own Mr. Scott Gilbert. He was recognized by Miamisburg resident for an act of kindness and caring during his off time. Resident communication to the district. So this is a resident indicating what one of our bus drivers did while he was off driving the bus. One of my Amazon packages fell out of their truck somewhere in Miamisburg. It was sitting out in the middle of the street, and I don't know for how long. Along comes a Miamisburg bus driver, again on his time off. He recognizes the address as he picks up my son and hand delivers the package to the address that was on the package. They say thank you, which anything that comes in Amazon these days, that is remarkable in itself that those types of packages aren't stolen, because we hear it all the time as they're stolen from people's front porch or whatever. So that does deserve a huge thank you. The district appreciates Michael for his service to our students as a bus driver, and as evidenced by this act, kindness and his dedication to the community. So thank you very much for delivering that package, as well as the resident of Miamisburg. So well deserved. And that's it on the district news side.
Thanks, Chris.
I see.
So are we to the point now where we go around the table?
We are. Mr. Toadvine gets the catbird seat.
Oh boy, this
that
is
I
really
enjoy.
different for me. Been a while. I'd just like to say to Valinda and Jim, congratulations on your retirement. Wish you well. Enjoy it. Hope you have many years to enjoy it also. Tom, thanks for stopping in and talking to us. I was setting you up on that when I asked that question, because I know that you believe in sustainability, and you mentioned it several times, so thank you. Tom and I went to high school together, so I know him a little bit. February, we're going to be some things coming up. I'm not going to say too much, Dr. Blessing, because I know you'll probably say a few things, but because it's right around the corner. But I think that this semester has been it's turbulent, but it was turbulent for everybody in the United States. So, and I would like to say that I feel like that our staff has done a wonderful, wonderful job this semester handling all the ups and downs of COVID, and trying to be inclusive and do everything with integrity. And I feel like that every decision, literally, I think every decision that was made was the effort was put forward to make sure it was what was best for our students. And that's from the school board to the central office right on down to the students themselves. I think that they did a wonderful job too. So, thanks everybody for all the effort and time, extra time and everything that you put in. I really don't think that a lot of people understand how significant it is to thank their teachers and for the tremendous extra amount of time that has been put in by them to ensure that our students get the best education possible under the circumstances. So thanks to everybody for that. Hopefully this stuff is going to get put behind us soon with vaccinations and everything, and our children will be able to have a normal school year coming up, maybe even this next semester. Let's hope so. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Dale. Start off with giving you a real thank you for your service last year as president. I learned a lot from your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Congratulations, Ann, Chris, on your election. Why are you laughing? Nothing. I do not remember if I did this last month, so I'm going to do it again if I did do it. But since last March, I brought up the idea of getting Chromebooks out. And for everyone that central office, technology department, I'm not going to mention names because I'll leave somebody out, but everyone that worked so hard to get those into the hands of our students that needed them, I deeply appreciate that. I know that meant a lot to our community, and being on full remote there for a period, you know, that it really helped out for those that did not have devices. Also, I wanted to thank everyone involved in nutrition services for getting the meals out while we were on remote and continuing to do the hard work that they do. And thank you for the gift, whoever's responsible for that. Thank you. Mr. Amsler, I don't have to follow you anymore.
Again, I would like to ditto Mr. Toadvine in thanking the retirees. Anytime you retire on your own terms, that's quite significant in itself. Mr. Young, thank you for being here as well. I know you've got a busy schedule as well, so taking time out to be here, thank you for doing that as well. Mr. Toadvine, 2 years, you are correct. We've had a lot of things going on over the last 2 years, so thank you for your years of service and your dedication to the school district and the community as well.
Thank you for putting up with me.
I know Miss Tina appreciates all of our donations that we get, and for this time of the year, that any donation that we get is much appreciated. So, and I'm glad that some money's coming in on the Campus Quest side as well. That's always a concern. So, lastly, I'll say I got the privilege, and I enjoy it a lot, but I learned as much as I gave to the students teaching the CPR, I learned just as much from them at the high school. The hybrid schedule that we are currently on, though it is safe, it is what we should be doing currently. I am tickled that we are going back to 5 days a week, February 1st, because they always say, in order to learn something, go in the belly of the beast. And I learned a lot of what our staff, our teachers, everybody is going through on a daily basis, as well as our students. They taught me what their struggles were as they were trying to learn. That asking various teachers at the high school of teaching the multiple subjects 2 days, you know. So I appreciate everybody's input, their dedication to our school district, because it has been a revolving door that we have changed. And it wasn't, those decisions were not made lightly, and everybody's input was taken into that. So I will probably at some point in time come down and share what I learned from the students to you two, because I think it's important as we move forward coming out, going forward for the next semester as well as the next school year, of just some of the things that they had said to me, struggling wise, teaching wise. So I'll leave it at that, but I just wanted to say thanks.
Yeah, well, I hope you'll share that with us too, Chris. That sounds
I can.
interesting. Yeah, and I want to thank Dale too. I know, Dale always calls me back within an hour after I call him. He's really helped me learn a lot the past 3 years. So, I appreciate him not only as the president, but just has really helped me along the way. So thank you.
You're welcome.
One thing I was excited about, I saw this on Twitter today, and Sharon knows this man as well, Mr. Hanig. I don't know if you saw that, but he has painted all the presidents in the front foyer of Kinder School. And this is years ago that he started this, probably 20 years ago.
Oh, longer than 20, because I've been retired 18, so it was
Okay.
long before that.
Well, I saw on Twitter today that he and his son Will, and Mr. Hanig is an artist. He sells jewelry, but that's what he does on the side. And he had already painted Joe Biden's picture in the foyer. So that was pretty cool. And I just want to, thank all of the employees. The school plan has changed so much, and they just keep adapting, and they've been so positive about, changing from one plan to the other, and so creative. So I just really appreciate all the employees, whether it was a teacher or a bus driver or central office, cafeteria worker. They've all had to adjust based on whatever plan we were on. I also wanted to thank the parents and the grandparents that helped their kids and their grandkids navigate the PLP. That's our distance learning program or platform. The kids would not be as successful if they didn't have the parents and the grandparents to help them. And I just want to thank the grandparents again, and any other person in our community that helped with childcare when we were on plans where kids weren't at school. That was hard for parents to, figure out. And a lot of grandparents stepped up, and a lot of neighbors stepped up so that we could do the plans that were safest at the time. So I really appreciate our community that way, and I just appreciate how much the community as a whole just was so steadfast in supporting us this year. I felt they were always really positive, and there was not a lot of negativity, and I just appreciate our community, and that's it.
I'll just say ditto to what everybody has said down the table. Dale, thank you for your years of service. I won't say anything more because I don't want you to get a bigger head than you already have.
That's impossible. I was going to say, I was going to let Ann have some of my big nose to hold her mask up.
There you go. I do agree with what everyone has said. This has been a struggle this semester. I think we've done the best we can do for our kids, but I will be very happy when they can all be back in school. And I will say I got my vaccination shot today. I would encourage everyone who has the opportunity to get it to go ahead and get it. I think that's the only way we're going to get back to a normal community a normal school year. So please go and do that if you have the opportunity. And with that, I'll just pass it on.
Well, in honor of School Board Recognition Month, since it's January, just say thank you to all of you. You know, it's a pretty thankless job sometimes, and you don't get a whole lot of pay. So we do appreciate all your work and your effort. So thank you very much for your continued service to the kids here in the Miamisburg community.
Hey, Tina, tell people what we really get paid.
About $125 just for meetings. That's it. Only meetings, nothing else. And there's a lot of prep work and reading and things that go into that. So we do appreciate all your time and dedication to the district and the students. Just want to remind everyone that we do have an anonymous donor out there that's matching donations for the wrestling program and Campus Quest. So I can't say that enough. Please make donations so that we can maximize those $20,000 for the wrestling program as well as Campus Quest. Those funds are needed for both programs. As you know, COVID, we've taken a little bit of a hit in athletics because we haven't been able to have as many events, and we've had to limit our spectators and who can come. So of course revenues are down. So we would certainly welcome any donations. That's all I have.
I'll just say one more thing. Tom, thank you for coming. Thank you for representing us in the state legislature this year. And please come back again, maybe in 6 months, and keep us up to date and bring some good news to it.
I think he was planning on coming every month, so.
I wouldn't expect that.
Bring us dinner next time you come.
Oh, yeah.
I think everything has been said that I would have said around the table, so I'm going to give my time to Dr. Blessing.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. First of all, thank you, Tom, for coming this evening. And we're going to be doing some strategic planning here as you phrased it, AC after COVID. So we definitely all invite you. We're going to be involving our community and all of our stakeholders. So we are going to plan for after COVID, and like you said, how we can stabilize and capitalize on what we know we can do with our limited funds, but also do what we can for our students. So thanks for being here this evening. And also thank you to Mr. Toadvine for, I'll just echo what Tina said in terms of your leadership for the past 2 years. And obviously, I really appreciate your leadership in the summer early May, when I participated in the interviews for superintendent. And I know we had a lot of discussions. So I appreciate all of your knowledge that you shared with me and our time as I transition. So thank you again.
I think we got a real winner.
Well, thanks. Just a few things, just as we gear up for February 1st, which is the beginning of our second semester. We did have a task force meeting, a district task force meeting earlier this month, and we did say that we were going to touch base with everyone next week, before February 1st, just to make sure that we were ready to go back full time. We were going to look at the data of COVID and just how we were doing with our resources and our substitute teachers and our current cases of COVID and quarantine. So we are going to convene the district task force next week. It may even be just a Zoom meeting where we quickly go over where our Montgomery County numbers are, where, obviously Katie can update us on our current COVID numbers, what we are seeing in terms of substitute teacher needs, and making sure that we are ready to go back. So it's kind of just a checkup. So I think we're going to just try a district task force like Zoom meeting because we do get busy, and just to make sure we're all touch base and we hear any concerns moving forward. It's been a very successful January in terms of our return with the hybrid and the 4 days a week at the elementary. We are having good results with our building subs that we have in place every day in the buildings to kind of offset any last minute absences. So that's going really well. Something else that's gearing up February 1st is our vaccines. So Mr. Holman has kind of taken the lead. Rite Aid has been providing our flu shots now, I think for a while, and we can partner with them for the vaccine. So we are working with Montgomery County Public Health and Shannon Cox at the ESC, and they've allowed us to choose our partner. And Rite Aid has been gracious. They come out during the flu shot season and they go to the buildings, and we are able to work with our schedules, and that is going to be what happens with our vaccine. So we did a survey last week, and over 75% of our staff are interested in getting the vaccine. So anywhere, I think from all the other surveys and the other Montgomery County superintendents did, some of them were in the 60s or 70s. So I feel like we had a great response to that. And as Sharon encouraged, we are doing that as well. What we know is the vaccines, of course, are free for our staff. We don't know whether it'll be the Moderna shot or the Pfizer. It'll depend on, of course, the supply and what Rite Aid gets. So we're hoping that by spring break, everyone will have both of their doses, staff-wise.
So to be clear, our staff will not be, because Sharon, did you go to Montgomery County?
I went to a Kettering Health Clinic up on
Okay.
Dorothy Lane.
But they're going to be coming to us, and then our staff will be done building by building. Is that what I hear you say? Kind of.
We're working with Jamie Schaefer from Rite Aid, and the goal is to have them come into the district in terms of the pharmacists are the ones that have to mix it. And so we're going to be working with Katie as well with our nurses and that to be able to distribute it in each of the buildings. Our goal is to run it like we did the flu shots.
Yeah.
It's a little more involved in the flu shots because you can only do so many per hour because there's a wait time that they have to be observed. So Jamie and I are going to get together next week with Katie, and we're going to kind of talk about how that will look to get them out there and get vaccinated and things like that. So
If that's the case, I think that's absolutely wonderful that they're coming to us, because that is just, I mean, I go to Montgomery, I go up to Dayton, but yeah, Pfizer's 21, Moderna's 28, depending on your second shot. So by the end of the month or the first part of March, somewhere in that ballpark, obviously. I think that's great. Thank you.
But that also depends on whether we get the vaccine in Ohio. I know the governor said today that we're getting it out as quickly as we can, but there could be delays because of just the timing of getting the actual vaccine here, because there's a shortage.
And Shannon Cox is doing a fantastic job of really going to fight for the Montgomery County schools to get them in and get them. So we kind of jumped on that bandwagon right away, and so we'll see. But thank you to Jamie Schaefer. Even with the flu shot, she lives here in Miamisburg, and there are many times that even for our second and third shift workers, that she will make a special trip and we'll meet them to give them their flu shots and things like that. So,
And I will
we're
say
very
today,
fortunate.
in 20 minutes, I was in and out in 20 minutes, so.
Yeah. So anyway,
Thank you.
we'll keep all of you involved and informed, but we're doing our best to get them out right away. So.
Yeah, that's a huge thank you. Thank you.
We do appreciate the ODH allowing us to, kind of do it individually based on a community partner and working within the realm of having it on site. So that's been great flexibility. So, and then a few other things. We've got some board budget chats we've got scheduled. Chris will get you tonight to see when we can meet next week. We're doing 1 or 2 people meetings with the board next week to just talk about kind of your priorities that you gave us for budget cutting ideas and cost savings. So we want to share some of the conversations we've had with our staff and our unions and where we are, because we've got to continue as we talk if we do a levy this year. So we'll be getting with you after the meeting, Chris, and see what time works for you. And then we are having an LMC training with our Teamsters. We have a tentative week of February 8th, and we do have some spots for a couple board members if anyone wants to attend. So I've got some dates. I've already met with the Teamsters. They've thrown me back some dates that work, and it would be a half-day training, so it could be 3 to 4 hours. And it's just an LMC training just to kind of establish meeting norms, questions, how we address things. So looking forward to that. And then, let's see, I think next month, if the government allows, we'd like to open up the board meetings again so that we have limited, obviously, COVID-safe spaces for our public and our student of the month. So I counted 23 chairs, I think, that we could have the way they have it set up for their meetings. So if all goes well, we'd like to start that next month. And I think I have worked with Shannon Cox, saying her name again. They're going to be offering some board trainings, like I think some of you attended early last year. They're going to be doing a series. So once I get those, of course, I'll pass those along to you. I think we may be able to attend as well. I think last year, some of the sessions, it was just the board. So we'll see. She's still working on that. And as I mentioned to Tom, I have been working with different strategic planning companies to kind of find out where would be a good fit for us to have a consultant come in and lead us as we update our strategic plan. So I'll be sharing some of the proposals and information with you all. They will work with you, but they'll also work with our staff, some of our administrators, some of our committees, obviously in terms of technology, academics, facilities. I think we need to expand and have a kind of a social-emotional diversity piece of our strategic planning as we move forward into 2021 and beyond. So those are just some things I've been working on, and I think we're going to have a busy February if everybody's okay with that. Hopefully the weather cooperates. So I don't think I missed anything. Anything? Okay. All right. And thank you all again. Enjoy your board recognition gifts, and we appreciate all you do. So thank you.
Thank you for those gifts. Very nice. All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
That's Sharon's thing. I can't take that away from her. I will second, though.
Okay, so first by Angel, second by Amsler. And roll call?
Mrs. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Toadvine?
Yes.
Mrs. Neese?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Amsler?
Yes.
I have 7:45, Ann. Officially adjourned.
Did we get you done in time, Steve?